Welcome back. Fox Carolina is committed to you. That's why we are investigating and following up on the updated guidance from the CDC and DHEC in South Carolina. So both agencies, they're recommending indoor mask wearing regardless of your vaccination status, as we're seeing COVID-19 cases surge not only across the country, but here in the Palmetto State. Now, the CDC also went a step further, recommending that all K-12 students in the country wear masks inside school buildings to start the school year. Well, tonight we're hearing from the local school districts who say, well, basically our hands are tied when it comes to these new state laws and what we can do to try to protect the children and teachers in our buildings. We're also hearing directly from lawmakers about why these new laws were put into place in the first place. Matt Kaufax has been following this story closely. You can see now he's outside the district office. So Matt, a lot of these districts a little upset because they can't do much.
Yeah, Cody, certainly, and it really is a very complex topic that requires a deep dive. So where it started was earlier this year when state lawmakers put into the approved state budget some provisos. Those are conditions, if you will, basically talking about COVID-19 precautions like masking, distancing, e-learning, etc. So I spoke with the state's largest school district here in Greenville County. They basically tell me that what all of these conditions do is prevent them from acting on their own. Lawmakers tell me this is all about giving that issue of choice and freedom to parents.
Tim Waller with Greenville County Schools says that no matter what happens with COVID-19 and despite new CDC guidelines, the district will not bring back restrictions on their own.
Our hands are tied.
This is because of new laws passed by the state legislature for every public school district. Earlier this year, lawmakers put a proviso in the state budget saying districts can no longer legally mandate face coverings.
No one's saying you can't wear a mask. I mean, we didn't pass a proviso saying that a teacher cannot wear a mask.
State Senator Josh Kimbrell says it's about people's personal freedom and choice.
If folks feel that they're vulnerable medically and they need to take precautions, take them.
But Waller worries about what this could mean. DHEC says COVID cases in South Carolina have risen 93% the past couple of weeks. So we asked, what happens if cases in schools spike? Can students switch to virtual learning?
The answer to that question is yes, but because of another proviso, we're limited to only 5 e-learning days per year.
Waller says some parents have also asked, is full-time virtual learning still an option?
The answer that we have to that question is yes, provided there is space. And I would go on to tell parents that there's not going to be much space for much longer.
A third proviso states that districts may only enroll up to 5% of their student body in e-learning or risk losing nearly half their per-pupil state funding. Last year, GCS had 23,000 students enrolled in full-time virtual learning. 5% of that, 3,700.
Having any possible flexibility taken away from us is a little frustrating. And it's disconcerting, to be quite honest with you.
Kimbrell sees it differently.
We want to make sure that kids are in the classroom. They're getting face-to-face instruction, that we're not shutting down schools again, and we're not allowing everything to be a permanent virtual classroom.
Waller says no argument there, but says he's also worried about health and safety.
We too believe that in-person face-to-face instruction is the best kind of education. It's why we're all here. It's what school is supposed to be.
So obviously a lot to take in there. In response to Waller's last bit that you heard right there, Kimbrell says he's confident about the safety in schools. Now, I did also reach out to the governor's office today to see if Governor McMaster would consider issuing executive orders that would trump some of these provisos if need be, if the COVID situation got to that point. We will update you when we get a response, but in response to that, Waller says he's confident lawmakers would do the right thing to save lives. Cody, back to you.